All right, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think a lot of us struggle with, and that's procrastination.
Yeah.
And, how to really get things done, be more productive, and really just kind of, get rid of this procrastination that holds us back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And luckily, we have a great guide for this deep dive, Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog! 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's
Yeah.
it's packed with really actionable advice.
It is. It's very actionable.
Uh,
And that's what we're all about here at the deep dive, is getting to the good stuff, and that's exactly what we're going to do with this.
right, the crucial insights and practical techniques. We want to give you that shortcut,
Yeah.
so you can really understand how to be more productive.
Exactly. And I think, that whole central idea of eating the frog, it might sound a little strange.
Right, right.
But, really it's about tackling your most important, often most challenging task first thing in the day.
The one you're most likely to put off, right?
Yes. Get that big, hairy thing out of the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it off your plate.
And, the book has 21 different approaches, and we're not going to be able to cover every single one.
Of course, yeah.
But we are going to get into several of the most powerful ones.
Right. The ones you can start implementing right away.
Yeah. So
You ready to jump in?
let's do it.
Okay, so the book kicks off by really emphasizing how important clarity and planning are to this whole thing.
Yeah. Foundation, right?
It is. It is the foundation.
You've got to have a good foundation.
And it throws out this statistic. It says only about 3% of adults have clear written goals.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. Those are the people who achieve so much more.
Right. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, think about it. That lack of clear direction, that's where procrastination thrives. If you don't know what you're aiming for,
Right?
it's easy to get sidetracked, feel paralyzed, not start anything at all.
So Tracy gives this 7-step formula for setting and achieving goals
Okay. Yeah. Let's get into that.
to bring that focus in.
Yeah. So step one is decide exactly what it is you want.
Right. Sounds simple enough,
Yeah.
but there's more to it.
There is. And he makes a really good point here, especially if we're talking about like professional goals. He stresses the value of like talking to your manager.
Oh, communication is key.
Yeah.
Make sure you're on the same page.
Yeah, to be really clear on the expectations and the priorities.
Mhm.
Because you could be working hard,
Right.
but maybe not on the things that are really, moving the needle.
Absolutely. You could be spinning your wheels.
Yeah,
Working hard, but not smart.
right.
So that step can really help you eliminate a lot of wasted effort.
Yeah, for sure. So step two, this is the, write it down part.
All right. Actually putting pen to paper.
Yeah, and be specific. It might seem simple, but that act of taking it from a vague thought in your head to actually writing it down, it makes a difference.
It
Yeah.
becomes real.
Yeah.
It's not just floating around up there.
Mm.
You've made a commitment.
Yeah. Okay, and then step three is setting a deadline.
Mm.
Because, if there's no deadline, there's no urgency.
Exactly.
Things can just kind of keep getting pushed.
Yeah, indefinitely.
Yeah, indefinitely.
So he recommends breaking it down into those sub-deadlines as well for bigger goals.
Right, to keep that momentum going.
Keep you on track.
Yeah, it's like having those mini finish lines along the way.
Exactly. Exactly. Celebrate those small wins.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, step four is making a list of everything you need to do to achieve that goal.
Right, the roadmap, right.
Yeah.
Got to have the roadmap.
Yeah. Okay, and then step five is to organize that list
Into a plan.
into a plan.
Yeah.
Thinking about the priority and the sequence.
What comes first? What
Mm.
depends on what,
Right. He even suggests, diagrams, flowcharts to really map it out.
Yeah, the visual planning tools.
Yeah.
It can be really helpful. Yeah, because it gives you a clear overview and you could see, potential bottlenecks.
Yeah. I think that visual aspect, for me, is really helpful.
I think for a lot of people, it's just seeing how the pieces fit together, you know?
For sure. Okay, step six is all about taking action.
And taking it immediately.
Immediately.
Right.
And he emphasizes that even an imperfect plan that's being executed is more valuable than a brilliant plan that's just sitting there.
That's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about overcoming that inertia.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, what's so fascinating about that to you?
Well, I think that initial step is always the hardest. Right?
It is.
It's just like overcoming that, I don't want to do it.
Right. And sometimes, even if it's imperfect action, you just got to start,
Yeah.
and then you build momentum.
Yeah.
Get going.
Okay, step 7 is committing to doing something every single day that moves you towards that goal.
Consistency.
Consistency is key.
Even in small increments, it's amazing what you can achieve over time.
Right, it's like compound interest, like little bits.
Exactly, exactly. Small daily effort, big results over time.
Yeah, it's huge. And, you know, the book really makes this point that written goals, they aren't just some aspirational statement. They have like a real effect on your motivation.
Oh yeah, there's a psychological power to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're making a promise to yourself.
Yeah.
You're solidifying that intention.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of big goals, the book kind of touches on that classic question, how do you eat an elephant?
Oh, right.
And the answer is one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah, you know, it's about breaking those big tasks down.
Right. Into smaller, manageable steps.
Yeah.
Makes them less overwhelming, easier to start. Have you found that in your own experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you're faced with this just massive thing, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't even want to,
You want to avoid it.
I want to avoid it. But
Yeah.
if you break it down, you create that sense of progress.
Exactly. You get those small wins. You know, you build confidence, you get momentum. And there's this principle he talks about, the 10-90 rule.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
So he says that the initial 10% of time you spend planning a task can actually save you 90% of the time in executing it.
Whoa, that's huge.
It's incredible, right?
Yeah.
Small investment up front, massive return on efficiency.
Yeah, so it's working smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
And that leads into, you know, the benefit of planning your day in advance.
Right, having that roadmap
Taking a few minutes at the end of the day, beginning of the next, to plan out your tasks.
makes it easier to get started. You have a smooth flow, right?
Yeah.
You feel more competent.
You feel more in control.
Exactly. You're not just reacting to things, you're proactive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got our goals, we're planning our days, but how do we figure out which of those tasks are the most crucial ones?
Right. Prioritization.
Yes, that's where the 80-20 rule comes into play.
Yeah. Have you found this to be like kind of a universal principle?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to pop up everywhere.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It's also known as the Pareto principle, and it states that roughly 20% of your efforts will account for 80% of your results. And this applies to so many areas, not just productivity.
Yeah. Economics, business, it's all over.
Yeah. But for you, it means that if you have a list of 10 things to do, 2 of those items are probably way more valuable than the other 8 combined.
Wow.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it. And often he says that one most important task, that's the frog.
Right, that's the one we should be eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. We tend to procrastinate on those high-value tasks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those vital few, he calls them, you know.
Right.
And instead, we busy ourselves with those less important, trivial many. It's almost like we're avoiding the discomfort. Have you noticed that in your own work?
Oh, yeah. All the time. It's like I'll answer emails, you know, attend meetings that aren't really that important.
Right, the busy work.
Yeah, and there's that big thing looming that I'm just kind of avoiding.
Right, that's the thing. Effective time management is not about doing more things.
Right.
It's about choosing the most important thing to do next.
Right. Okay.
So for you, the challenge is to figure out what are those top 10, 20% of your tasks that really drive those results, what moves the needle.
Okay, so it's about being really selective.
Be ruthless with your time.
Ruthless with your time. Okay. Now, this is a really interesting concept that the book brings up. It's considering the consequences.
Oh, yeah, the weight of the task, right?
Yeah, the consequences of either completing a task or neglecting it.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides. And he talks about this research from Dr. Edward Banfield, who said that having a long time perspective is a really strong predictor of success.
Yeah, even more so than, you know, family background or education.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
Well, I think it says that thinking about the future ramifications of our actions today is really important.
Exactly.
You know, if we have a vision for where we want to be, it makes it easier to figure out what tasks are actually going to get us there.
What actually matters in the long run, right?
Yeah.
So the important tasks, they have big long-term consequences.
Yeah.
Unimportant ones, not so much.
Okay.
So he says, before you start any task, ask yourself, what are the consequences, both good and bad, of doing this or not doing this?
Okay, long term.
Long term, yeah.
Okay, so keeping the long term in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then he brings up this idea of creative procrastination.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Right. Procrastination, but make it good.
It's like an oxymoron almost.
Yeah, but it's actually a very strategic approach, since we can't do everything, right?
Right.
Creative procrastination is about delaying low-value activities to free up time for the high-value ones.
Okay.
So it's not just putting things off randomly.
Right. It's a decision.
It's a conscious decision.
Right.
What not to do right now.
Okay. So it's almost like prioritizing by not doing something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Focus on the important stuff.
Yeah.
And then he brings up this term, posteriorities.
These posteriorities.
Yeah, the things we decide to do less of or later.
Okay.
And this requires discipline
It does.
because you have to be able to say no.
Oh, saying no is so hard.
It is. It is. But he quotes Warren Buffett, who said his secret to success was saying no to almost everything.
Wow.
Pretty powerful, right?
Yeah.
So learning to politely but firmly decline those requests that aren't essential.
Yeah. It's hard though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But it's a crucial skill for productivity.
Okay. So saying no. And then he also talks about something called zero-based thinking.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
What's that?
So for any task you're doing, ask yourself, if I wasn't already doing this, would I start it today?
Knowing what I know now?
Exactly. And if the answer is no, well, maybe you should procrastinate on that.
Or even eliminate it completely.
Exactly. It's a good way to cut out the dead weight.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've identified our frog. Now, how do we make ourselves take that first bite?
Right. We got to take action. We got to stay focused.
Yeah.
And he presents this method, the ABCDE method.
KBCD method, okay.
So A tasks, those are must-dos,
That's
right?
important.
Yeah, big consequences if you don't do. B tasks, should-dos, important, but not as urgent.
Okay, okay.
C tasks, nice to-dos, little impact. D, delegate. Can someone else do it?
Right.
And E, eliminate. Just get rid of it.
Get rid of it, okay.
So the key here, you start on your highest priority A task, and you stick with it until it's done.
Okay, no multitasking.
No test switching, laser focus. Why do you think that's so important?
Well, it's about building momentum. Right.
Exactly. And getting into that flow state.
Yes.
When you're just completely absorbed in the task.
Right.
Time flies by, you're super efficient.
Right, and jumping between tasks, you lose that.
You lose that focus, you become less productive.
Yeah.
So he also talks about understanding your key result areas, those 5-7 areas that are essential for your success.
Okay, like the core functions.
Yeah, the things you need to excel at. So be honest with yourself. Are you performing well in those areas?
Right. Where do you really need to focus your efforts?
And then there's the law of 3. This one's interesting. He says there are usually 3 core tasks that contribute the most value.
Okay, your big 3.
The big 3.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those 3 things that, if you do them well, will have the biggest positive impact?
That's a good question.
Right. So really think about those core value drivers.
Oh.
And to get started on those tasks, he recommends preparing thoroughly beforehand.
Okay, get everything ready.
Have all the information, materials, resources, so you don't get stalled.
Right, remove those obstacles.
Exactly. And for those really big tasks, those massive frogs,
Yeah.
he suggests the salami slice method.
Okay, I like that.
Break it down into smaller chunks.
Yeah, bite-sized pieces.
Makes it less intimidating. You get that sense of accomplishment as you complete each step.
Right, builds the momentum.
Exactly. And speaking of obstacles, one of the biggest enemies of focus is interruptions.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Notifications, emails, messages, it's constant.
And he cites research that says it takes about 17 minutes to regain your focus after an internet interruption.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
It is. It adds up over the day.
Right.
So he suggests, turn off those non-essential notifications.
Right, okay.
Check email at specific times.
Oh, all the time.
Right. Create those blocks of focused work time, maybe 90 minutes. What do you think? Is that helpful for you?
I think so, yeah. It's about creating those boundaries, like zones of silence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about motivation now. What keeps us going?
Yeah, how do we stay motivated?
Well, he says motivation often comes from understanding the positive impact of a task.
Okay, the benefits.
The benefits.
Yeah.
So the more clearly you can see how completing this task will benefit you, the more motivated you'll be.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. And positive self-talk is huge.
Oh, yeah. If you're constantly negative, telling yourself it's going to be hard, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. But if you focus on the positive aspects, the rewards, it makes a difference.
Okay, so positive self-talk.
Absolutely. And he even describes the 4 behaviors of optimists.
Okay, what are those?
So they look for the good in situations.
Okay.
They seek lessons from setbacks. They focus on solutions, not problems. And they stay focused on their goals.
So those are all things we can cultivate.
Absolutely. They're habits you can develop.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you're really engaged in your work, you can enter this state called flow.
Oh, yeah, flow, like being in the zone.
Exactly. Have you experienced that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's when everything just clicks.
Yeah, time flies by, you're
Yeah.
super productive. And he says cultivating a sense of urgency can help trigger that flow state.
Okay, interesting.
It's about having that internal drive to get things done now. And the momentum principle is important too. It takes more energy to start than to keep going.
Right, so once you get going, it gets easier.
Exactly. And sometimes just saying, do it now, out loud, can help.
Okay, little mental trick.
Yeah, little jumpstart.
Yeah.
And finally, we have to address technology.
Oh, yeah.
Double-edged sword, right?
It can be amazing, but also a huge distraction.
Right. It can be a great tool for organization, but it can also control our attention.
Yeah, with all the notifications and the constant checking.
He cautions against that always-on mentality. It can leave you feeling overwhelmed and less productive.
So being mindful of our technology use.
Absolutely. Create those zones of silence, turn off devices, silence notifications.
Really choose when to engage.
Exactly. And you can segment your communication channels.
Okay.
Have a specific way for urgent things to reach you.
Filter out the noise.
Right. But technology can also be a servant, right?
I mean, I've
If you use it intentionally, it can help you manage your time.
Okay. Digital to-do lists, calendar blocking.
Yeah, exactly. But remember, you're in control.
So taking back the reins.
Exactly. Turn off those non-essential notifications. That's a good first step.
Okay, so as we wrap up here, the big takeaway from Eat That Frog is to develop that habit of tackling the most important task first.
Eat that frog.
Eat that frog, yeah.
And he really stresses that these are not innate talents.
Right.
These are skills you can learn.
Okay.
But like any skill, they require practice.
Right, consistent practice.
So for you, the challenge is to pick one or two of these strategies
Yeah, start small.
and apply them to your own life.
Yeah.
One small change can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. What's that one frog you've been avoiding that if you tackled it first thing tomorrow could have the biggest positive impact on your day, your week, even your long-term goals?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is.
Something to really think about. And there are other resources out there if you want to learn more.
Absolutely.
But the key is take that first step.
Identify your frog.
Identify your frog and just take a bite.
Just do it.
Thanks for joining us today on The Deep Dive.
Great conversation.
We'll see you next time.